I'm Sakura. I am one of the co-founders of Bloguettes alongside Lorena. Basically we started our company 3 years ago. We are local here in Phoenix, but we started our company with just a workshop. Lorena and I both have been doing internet businesses. We have our blogs, we have websites, and with that, we really started our company with doing workshops all over the country. So we have a 3-day branding workshop is what we call, and we do blogging day, social media day, and then Photoshop and Lightroom day. And that's kind of how Bloguettes started. We saw it as a side business, but as we've grown, we started doing webinars, stock photos, like everything educational based for entrepreneurs in today's world. It's very easy for us to start a business in today's world thanks to the internet, social media, but because of that, it's really hard to stand out from the crowd. So basically that's what we teach in our workshops and webinars as well as our blog.
Yeah, so our whole thing is to empower the entrepreneurial age, and that's why we're doing also this session today on social media, because we get a lot of clients and a lot of people that come to our workshops that are so lost in regards to social media. They're trying to do everything at the same time. They're trying to Snapchat, they're trying to tweet, they're trying to Facebook, but yet they don't see any results from their efforts. So that's why we focus on Bloguettes, in making people understand what social media is good for them and how they can make it work for themselves and for their business.
Also, social media is a lot of work. Instagram is so much more than taking a picture, slapping on a filter, and posting it. Right, Becca?
Right.
So it's a whole lot of strategy that takes so much time and effort, and so that's why it's really important to figure out which social media channel is best for you and your company and each purpose, so you don't spread yourself thin.
So we're here to kind of like talk to you guys about how you can boost your bottom line with social media, right? So there's 3 things that are important on social media. One is having a strong brand that you can use on social media, having compelling content, and having a good, solid social media strategy, right? So we could spend a whole day talking to you guys about social media today, but today we're gonna focus on the 3rd part of what I told you, so on social media strategy, right? So here is, it all starts with a strategy. So why do I need a social media strategy? Over 75% of companies have a social presence. Think about it, guys. Everything now, we Google it, right? So you want a new dentist, you go and Google, and you're gonna Google that new dentist. If you want to find a realtor, you're gonna go ahead and do it. So it's not just for bloggers. Really, being online and having a social presence is for any type of business, because that's how you're gonna be found. All of us Google everything. We are a curious society, right? So that's why it's so important. It makes the most out of your time and resources. So you need a strategy because of what I was telling you in the beginning, right? A lot of people are lost. They don't know. They're making all of this time, all of this money into social media, and they're not seeing the results. And it's also a strategy will provide you the results that you want, and it will increase sales.
I think the biggest thing that a lot of businesses in today's world is doing is, okay, I just started a company. I need to be on every social media channel. But I think that's where everyone's making a mistake, because you need to figure out which one's going to benefit you the most, and also where can you spend your time on the most. Are you going to have enough time to be getting Instagram content, to video, YouTube? Like, people have, it takes a lot of time, so it's really important to figure out which one is best for you. So where do I start? Step 1, it's so extremely important to know your brand. What makes you different? Earlier we were talking about it. Again, a lot of businesses start and they don't really know their brand on social media channel. Your Instagram should reflect your company brand. Branding is so much more than your logo and your color. It's your personality as a company, right? So you need to showcase that on every social media platform that you're out there on. So you need to know exactly what makes you different compared to the dentist office right next door to you.
And understanding your brand is really relevant to social media, because it goes all the way to what content you're gonna post, right? So if you're National Geographic, for example, you're not gonna go on Instagram and start posting really bright, airy pictures with a lot of girls on them, right? So it's the same for every business. You have to understand who you are as a brand for you to be able to understand what type of content on social media goes with that brand, And because in the end, you want to create awareness for your company. You want people to find you. So if you're inconsistent with the content that goes on social media versus what you have on your website or other places, that's where it starts. So knowing your brand, knowing how your brand looks, how your brand talks, everything that goes around your branding, and being clear of how social media can complement that and have that consistency.
Yeah.
Step 2, this is where we see also a lot of people get confused and a lot frustrated. You have to understand what you're using social media for. In the end, maybe not all of us are using social media in order to do direct sales. We're not all expecting for people to click on a post on Instagram and turn it into a sale. Maybe some people are. They're selling directly because they have an online store. So it all starts from understanding what are you using social media for. There's not right or wrong. Are you using it to generate traffic for your website? That's going to be different content that you're going to be posting if you want traffic to your website. Maybe once you drive traffic to your website, you expect to convert those people into something else. Are you using it just for direct sales? You want people to click on that picture and potentially buy something directly. Do you want leads? Do you want people to fill in a form after they see your social media content and then for you to contact them after? Are you just using it for brand awareness? Do you just want people to understand who your company is and start getting on people's minds? So why are you using social media? And it's so important for you guys to think about that because your whole strategy will fall from there.
Mm-hmm. And this is really important because, Instagram is huge right now, but at the same time, it's not the best for traffic. It really isn't. So if your website or your company needs traffic, then, and you don't want to spread yourself thin, then maybe that's where you have to decide, okay, I don't even like taking pictures. I don't have a whole team. Maybe Instagram isn't where I put my effort because, again, I need traffic. There's only one location where you can put your a link. So that's not where I want to put my time and effort into things. And then know your following and your market. This is so extremely important. It's important for you to have an understanding of who exactly is following you right now. And then which social networks are they on? It's all different. Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Pinterest. We're gonna get into each social media channel here in a second. Mm-hmm. But again, every demographic, everyone's on different social media platforms, so it's really important for you to have an understanding of where your demographic is at and which social media channels, or which social media channels. So, and then what type of content do they prefer? Video, pictures, all that.
It's so important because think about a company like Bloguettes, right? Even our name, we target women. So it's so important for us to know what type of women are following us, and we know that the women that follow Bloguettes are girl bosses. But they're also very interested in fashion. They're interested on trending. So even if we post a picture about one of our articles that talks about maybe branding or SEO, we have to be careful about the pictures that we post to be attractive to that market. So that's why it's so important for you guys to understand who's following you and what they're attracted to.
And our company started thanks to Instagram, really. We started small in Phoenix and we were kind of promoting our workshop. And again, Lorena and I saw this as a side business where we got to travel together and, meet other entrepreneurs and give them these tools. But Instagram is really where we were able to grow our market and start traveling into other cities, going to Mexico City to do our workshop, to everywhere else. And again, it's all because of Instagram, really.
And the content I remember in the beginning, it was like, Sakura handles all of our visuals for the whole company, and I was like, why does she care so much about us posting a picture that has to look so good? I started calling her the picture Nazi, because she was like, every picture had to be perfect. Every picture had to look a certain way. And then as we started growing, I started understanding the importance of us portraying that high quality content on Instagram, for example, because from those beautiful pictures, people were thinking that then our workshops were going to be the same quality as that picture was. So us putting incredible content on social media allowed us to look way bigger than we actually were, and for people to say, okay, we gave them credibility. If our content that we were putting out there on Instagram was good and people liked it, then they thought that when they came to the workshop, it was going to be the same thing. We started to create an expectation for our company.
And then also, going along with step 3, use a feature like Demographics Pro. This is an amazing tool that we use to kind of get a better understanding of our followings. Like, are they single mothers? What type of income are they getting? You know, every little information: gender, age, income, education levels. It's just like a little tip out there for you guys to maybe take a look at. But it's called Demographics Pro, and you really get an understanding of your following.
So what social media channels are you going to use? And this is where we're going to focus most of our presentation, because this is where we see most people make mistakes. So everybody wants to be on everything, right? So all of a sudden Snapchat is out, and there you see every single business trying to do Snapchat, or every single business trying to tweet. But then,
or the opposite, and they're intimidated to use it. And so they don't even try when there's so much value in Snapchat too.
So also be open. Yes, you might have a presence on all of them, but you have to focus on some of them where your strengths are as a company, and then you can grow the rest. So if you grow an amazing Instagram following, then you can direct them to a Twitter following, you know? So just understand where are your strengths in regards to social media, and we're gonna go a little bit into it. But before we go, every single social media has a purpose, right? Why do we all go onto Facebook? We go to Facebook because we wanna see what our high school friends that we haven't seen in 15 years are doing, to creep on an old ex-boyfriend or whatever it is silently creeping all over. But that's why we go on Facebook, right? Or to look at those terrible daily what is
Mail.
it? The Daily Mail news about someone putting, I don't know, a chicken on the microwave, and then you click on it, right? That's why you are on Facebook. It's about the present. That's why it's such a big traffic generator. People are on Twitter to find out news about their industry. So not just their industry, but also their interests, right? So if you're very, very interested in the Kardashians, you're gonna go and see what Kim tweeted today. If you're very interested on SEO, like just on the past presentation, you're gonna go see what those guys tweeted, because they're leaders in their industry. That's why people are on Twitter, because it's very fast information.
And right now.
And you have to understand why people go into these channels, so you can provide them the right content. So people are on Pinterest. It's mostly women-driven, because people want to plan. People on Pinterest are planners. They want to plan for the future. They want to save what recipes they're going to be doing. Even though Sakura is not getting married anytime soon, she might be doing a board on weddings that she's going to be accumulating content. Little Beyonce here. No, where she might be accumulating content for her wedding planning, right? So people are content curators on Pinterest. So think about how people are using Pinterest. When you think about a platform like Snapchat, people are there to see the real life content. They're not there to see news. They're there to see a little bit of like a reality TV thing, which you can see that it's the popular thing right now. So that's why people are using Snapchat, because it's entertaining content. So before you go ahead and start posting all over the platforms, understand why you use each one of those platforms and try to adapt your content to each one of them.
So Pinterest, which businesses and content work best? It is a very highly visual platform, and I think people are like, oh, it's just an idea collection. I get to pin what I want to pin, but it's so much more than that. Pinterest is our #1 traffic source for Bloguettes, and we have tons of blog posts, tons of things that we promote, from our stock photos to individual blog posts to our workshops to everything. And Pinterest gives us the most traffic compared to any other social media platform. And again, people originally think, oh, it's just a wedding planning tool, right? But it's so much more than that, because every picture on Pinterest has a link behind it, right? So it works best with businesses who have something that they can visualize and photograph. So again, it is better to have a pretty picture for your pin, because that will generate more traffic. And also, again, it's one of the best traffic drivers. So I think people really underestimate Pinterest, but it is, again, a huge, huge, huge traffic driver. You just have to know the strategy. And again, we have a whole day that's dedicated to social media at our workshop. So putting a 45-minute presentation is a little bit difficult, because I want to get into the nitty-gritty of each social media platform. But again, it's a very important social media channel. So if you have an online store, if you have a blog, you should 100% be on Pinterest, 100%.
people are not on Pinterest to see ugly things, and that's the bottom line too. Like when we talk to clients and they're like, well, we're not seeing the repins, we're not seeing the traffic. Well, it's because it all starts from your pictures, right? So that's why we say that it works better than if your picture is ugly. It's so terrible to say, but you're not going to get any traffic because people are going to skip through it. And Pinterest has become kind of a search engine for women. So if your business is targeting women, you need to be on Pinterest because that's where we are very visual people, right? So women are very visual, so they're going to decide what article they're going to read based on the picture that they're seeing.
And then, again, like Lorena said, 82% are female. It's true. I use Pinterest as my Google to find out recipes and so much more. If I want even like a city guide, like, right, for if I'm visiting New York City and I want a city guide of all the Instagrammable places to visit in New York City, I'm going to find it. I'm going to search it on Pinterest rather than Google because I know that my demographic is there. Yeah.
What hashtags would you use for that to search somewhere to go?
For Pinterest?
Yeah.
Pinterest aren't relevant really with hashtags anymore. But Instagram, maybe. And then 70% are under the age of 45. But something for you guys to also know about Pinterest is it's very US based. So if your business is more like all over the world and international, then you need to know that before really getting into Pinterest.
Perfect. So some Pinterest pros, again, selective following, open boards, it's shareable content. It's very easy to share content. And when you talk about traffic, and I don't know if some of you guys were in the SEO session before, but I think, again, content is king, and content is how people are going to find your business online. So content on Pinterest lasts for a long time. The average life of a pin is 3 months versus the average life of a tweet being an hour. And a Facebook post, its average lifespan is 3 hours. This is 3 months. So why? Because content on Pinterest comes to life all the time, and it's seasonal. So let's say that last year I made a post on, I don't know, tips not to go crazy on Christmas, whatever it is for your business, right? So that it's gonna go like to sleep for some time, but as soon as Christmas comes over again and people start looking for that, it will come back. As soon as one more person pins it, then it starts again the cycle of that content being alive again. So it actually gives you consistent traffic for your business. Yeah.
We have a friend that is a crockpot queen. I don't know if you guys know her, but she's based here in Phoenix, and she has these, like during football season, her traffic just grows significantly because people are looking for easy crockpot recipes, and she gets 2 million hits a day. Because, and these are, and yeah, why don't we all get into crockpot business? But again, like these are recipes that she posted years ago, but it comes back to life thanks to Pinterest because you find one person pinning about an old recipe that happened 2 years ago, it's gonna start back again and start trending again. So she's getting 2 million hits again, right? And all over again.
Why we tell you who is on each platform is because, again, we're here to tell you that you don't need to be on each one of them, right? So if your market is not like the female driven, if you're not highly visual company, even though Pinterest can get you a lot of traffic, you're not gonna get it. So just pick and choose which ones you're gonna be working with. Some cons of Pinterest, again, it has a very specific audience, basically female driven, even though a lot of, it's growing with men, but again, it's still 80% women.
My boyfriend has a Pinterest account.
For rings.
I wish.
It requires really high quality images. So if you don't have good photography within your company, or you don't have someone, or you're not very good at that, it's not gonna work. Quality over time feed. So it takes a little bit of time for Pinterest to start working for you. You have to be a little bit patient, but if you keep doing it, you'll see the results. And users won't necessarily see everything you post, just like every single social media and just like Google, Pinterest is very focused on the user experience. So if you go ahead and just binge pin 100 articles, your followers are not gonna see them. So it actually, with how the algorithm works is they will show the content that they think the other user is looking for, that they will want, kind of like Google, versus just showing them everything that the people that they follow post on Pinterest.
And then there's Twitter, right? So which business and content works best? Anyone with an industry network, groups, professionals. I know that a younger demographic really use it. My sister's 20 and she's in Santa Barbara, and her friends, like everyone, they use Twitter like crazy. I'm not a big Twitter person, but I think it really depends on what industry you're in. Customers are, go ahead.
No, and if you're a leader in that industry, right? So
Right.
for example, the guys that we're talking about in the SEO in the past presentation, like they have thousands of followers because people rely
have a
on them
fan
for
base.
their advice on SEO, right? So if you think you have the type of company or you are the type of person that are very credible about one subject or have a following around that and people can come to you for advice, Twitter is the perfect platform for you to get established and to get known because people are looking for information. They're looking to click through to articles, right? So if you are that type of company, you can provide that type of content, Twitter is a good platform
And
for
finding
you.
things out now.
Exactly.
Customers active on mobile media, companies with a successful brand is huge, obviously, to follow. And also a lot of people utilize it for customer service, different departments. If you're looking for a job in a specific, I know like there's e-commerce stores that have a Twitter account specifically for careers, like job openings for their companies. So there's different ways to use Twitter 100%.
And we say companies with a successful brand because if your brand is already known, then people will want to follow you on Twitter and if, like, again, to get your advice. The user demographics on Twitter.
37, go ahead. Do you want me to go? Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
37% are 18 to 29-year-olds, 25% 30 to 49-year-olds, and 80% of them are mobile users as expected. Again, everyone's on their phone.
And again, the age, right? So if you're a company that's trying to get to, if you sell, for example, I don't know, audio things for old people, then you shouldn't be on Twitter, right? Because you're not going to get any business from Twitter. So just be careful with what you're using social media for. 25%, 30 to 49. So just be careful with that. No, you guys laugh, but we get a lot of people that are confused. So might as well.
We're old.
No, you're not old. You go.
All right, so obviously, again, every social media channel has pros and cons, each and every one of them. So Twitter's pros, extensive reach, quick content, easy to push lots of content and not. So for us Bloguettes, and not have it overloaded. So for us Bloguettes, like Instagram, Pinterest is obviously huge for us, but Twitter, you can only post, I don't know, max 3 or 4 Instagram posts a day. That's a lot, but that's our company. That's how we use Instagram. But with Twitter, there's so much more that we have to push. So Twitter allows us to push as much as we want because, again, it's not overloading because Twitter, it's so fast. So that's how we push a lot of things that we're doing.
And becoming efficient, we're talking about tools in a little bit, but Twitter is one of the few social media platforms that you don't have to be producing organic content all the time about what you're doing, right? So Becca here does our social media, and she relies on a lot of tools. Like I know there's a tool called Meet Edgar, is that name? So Edgar, actually, you can just program it, and it will repurpose, Edgar, yeah, I'm Mexican, so my accent sometimes. So Edgar, like it just refreshes all your content all the time. So you're tweeting constantly, something that maybe you tweeted some time ago, but you can still be tweeting it, and why not get more traffic for those posts? We all spend so much time creating content that why not market it constantly? And Twitter is a perfect platform to do that.
Yes. And then cons. It's a lot of content. People have flooded the newsfeed, so sometimes it gets overwhelming, I think. Low engagement rates compared to other social media platforms, and it takes a lot of time to engage with all users and constantly tweet, schedule content. So it does take a little bit of an effort. But again, every social media channel has pros and cons, and I think Twitter is fairly easy to kind of, again, push and put more content out there to the world.
But again, think before you post, right? So if you go ahead and post and it's like, I just had a chai latte, like, who cares, right? So I think it's just for you to understand, like, what works on Twitter. People on Twitter are wanting to click on something. They want to find out about something. So are you giving them that or not?
Snapchat.
So Snapchat, I think this is the new thing, and everybody's calling Snapchat the golden child of social media, right? And I think Snapchat is not just for millennials, and it started like being like a weird app for weird things, but now
Sending nudies.
Yeah, so
That's how people knew Snapchat in the beginning, but it's so
but
much
now
more
it's a
than
business
that.
tool. So Snapchat,
Who knew?
which business and content works best? So unique businesses, because people, that's why it's called a Snapchat story, right? Because people are going on Snapchat to be entertained. People spend hours on Snapchat looking at the content that people that they follow post. Businesses targeting younger demographics. Again, a lot of people between, I would say, younger than 18 are on Snapchat, but surprisingly, more than 34% of the people joining Snapchat now are over the age of 28. So usually the younger part of the population is an early adopter to social media platforms, but then we all follow after that, right? So Snapchat, it's happening that right now. They have over 400 million users, and again, more than 34% of them are getting into the older demographic.
But I think that's why it's really important to try to adapt early into these things. And you might not have to use it for business quite yet, but get an understanding of how people are using Snapchat to help grow their business. Follow other competitors or brands on Snapchat to see how they're marketing their products and services on Snapchat, because it's actually very, very, very useful. And we're going to go into pros and cons here in a second, but I think people are just like, oh, it's just for stupid dog filters and, you know, stupid face filters, but it's actually so much more than that, because guys, like, pictures can only do so much for us. And we're really moving towards video in today's world. Video tells so much more about the story, shows you the personality, the company culture, who's leading it, just so much more than what a picture and a caption can do, like on Instagram. So Snapchat has helped us significantly, and also, again, have that tie.
It's such a tool for everything. Like, think about even recruiting. Like for Bloguettes, a lot of people, for our interns, for our internship program, for the people that are, for the girls that work with us, it's been so fun because sometimes they get to the office and it's like, oh, finally in person. I saw it on Snapchat. So for us, it's a recruiting tool. It allows us to recruit really good people that have seen our corporate culture through Snapchat and want to work with Bloguettes. Mm-hmm. So think about customer service. Think about, like, when we get a lot of emails regarding one thing, you can just go on Snapchat and explain it, and then you save yourself a lot of emails. So it's attracting talent, it's customer service, it's telling your product story. And I know here, a lot of you guys, it's a very diverse crowd, and there's a very different, like, people have different businesses, but you can use it for everything. We had one day, like, a pediatrics office say, like, hey, how can we use Snapchat? We don't see any use for it. Well, you can. Like, again, it's a sales tool. Like, think about showcasing parents that want to join or that want to use you, and announcing on other social media platforms that they can see the behind the scenes of what you do on a daily basis. Before they go to you, they can see what you actually do with the kids. When it's like flu season, you can talk about prevention, like tips prevention before your kids get sick. If people like you, then you're gonna turn them into customers. So I think a lot of you guys probably here in the audience are thinking, like, Snapchat is not for me, but Snapchat is for everyone if you know, like, how to use it and how to promote it through other channels.
So pros, again, it gives you a one-on-one connection with customers. I mean, I follow bloggers and business owners, entrepreneurs, and I'm not gonna lie, it's made me love them even more or hate them and stop following them on social media, because again, you find out about their personality, their tone, so much more than what a picture provides. It's funny because you create this whole scenario. There's this blogger that I've been following for so long, since I was like 18, and I started following her on Snapchat, and she has, like, I've created this whole persona, right, of her, who she is as a person. And I follow her on Snapchat, and, like, she has the deepest voice ever. And it's like, whoa, like, that is not what I picture this person to be. But again, it just creates this whole, it allows you to connect. And that's the biggest thing. New medium for contests and giveaways, unique and new. So many businesses still haven't expanded to this platform. So this is really the time for you to try it out. You never know how much it can help you until you try it out. So don't feel intimidated trying out a new social media platform. You should become an early adopter and figure out how you really can utilize Snapchat and social media channels when you actually go into it.
Don't underestimate the power of working with somebody that uses Snapchat for your product. So talk about sales. I know Sakura's boyfriend has a, what is it, like an ice roller for his face? Just because he saw it on, like, So a girl was doing Snapchat, just the products that she uses. Never underestimate
It's like an ice roller
how
for
that's
your
gonna
muscles.
go, how that's gonna go like viral through different things. So just one person Snapchatting the products that they use in the morning can turn into so many sales and going viral.
And also, if you guys have like an e-commerce based business, there's this boutique that I follow and on Snapchat, and they literally showcase every new product on Snapchat, and I'll immediately just chat back and say, please save that for me. I'll be there at 3 o'clock, and they'll save that product. I don't have a problem, but they'll save that product for me, and it's waiting. The size is there. They'll hold it for me. Again, like, it's for her as a small business owner and having this boutique, it's like Snapchat has helped her so much with sales. So
it's just, again, it's about using each platform creatively and not trying to use all of them at the same time for everything. So Snapchat, some of the cons that we've seen, it's hard to track success because, of course, you see on Twitter, you see on Facebook, you're able to see followers, you're able to see so many analytics. On Snapchat, you basically can see how many people see your Snapchats and how many people take screenshots. And if you do a custom geo filter for your event or for anything, then you're able to see the analytics of it. But it's pretty limited on that way. Can't track how many friends you have. So a lot of people and a lot of brands are finding it difficult to get behind influencers on Snapchat because it's difficult for them to see the ROI on it now. It's time heavy, and this is the thing, guys. Like a Snapchat of you, like if Sakura and I just go ahead and be like, oh, selfie, Snapchat, NextCon, like that's not gonna, it's not gonna work. It's a story, right? So people are there to see like a mini reality TV. So if you have a cool business, it's the perfect platform to present like who your employees are, like what are they doing. If you posted today on your company website, like what did you post? What's the article about? All of that, it's constant content. It's a story.
And I think for like my girlfriend is a wedding planner, and she was like, well, no one cares about the wedding planner. What am I gonna share? I'm like, for us, right, our lives, it's like your everyday. So you think it's boring, but for other people, it's very interesting what your day-to-day is like, what your work life is like, what the company is like. It's very entertaining. And so I think it's really important for you to just, for me, when I Snapchat, I'm like, oh, this is kind of boring, but this is my everyday life. But people find it very entertaining, and how our meetings run, how our company runs, it's very entertaining to people. So again, like, don't think your everyday life is boring. I think share it because people will find entertainment and they'll learn a lot out of it.
And this, in the end, again, it turns into sales and turns into more service because you're creating that brand loyalty that people, I don't know, I think we are here speaking about social media because social media we are true, like, I don't even know, a true case study of how really social media has expanded our business. You know, we get emails about people wanting to move from Canada or moving from other places because they see that they want to work. This is the company that I've always dreamed of working. Well, how do you know you live in Canada, you know? But it's because they are seeing our Snapchats. They're seeing like, now with Instagram stories that it came out, which is pretty similar to Snapchat, we decided that our company was going to use Snapchat to showcase like what we were doing, but then
The company culture the girls'
But
view.
our Instagram stories, it's Sakura and I from the business owner point of view of how we run the business. So that's why how we differentiate both of them. But in the end, it turns into us, it turns into filling our workshops, it turns into creating more talent for our company and having better customer service in the end. More cons, not ideal for sharing, creating lasting content. So content disappears after 24 hours, so it's not going to be discovered. So pros, this makes content seem exclusive, and this is why you can use this to your advantage. Like I don't know how many here are into fashion, but a lot of companies use Snapchat now to preview their collections because it's time sensitive. People can't view it after, and they maybe post a picture on Instagram and then drive their people to their Snapchat to see the previews of their collections.
And like promotional codes, like there's so much that you can be pushing out there on Snapchat because it's only going to last 24 hours. But also kind of going back to Snapchat, you do have to make an effort. Like you need to make an effort for people to follow you on Snapchat. So I think that's where people kind of get lazy and they're like, they don't say, follow me on Snapchat. You 100% should, because if you don't, it's not an easy way for them to discover that you're on Snapchat. So it's something that you do have to share and make an effort so people follow you on Snapchat.
And going back to the beginning, what are you using social media for? You know, what are your objectives? Can Snapchat get you there? Can Facebook get you there, you know?
Right. So Facebook. We all love Facebook. Businesses that are willing to pay for advertising. So again, it is a little bit tough. We'll go into pros and cons, but you do have to pay for advertising in our industry. As an entrepreneur or business owner, you do have to pay for it for your content to be seen. Informative content though, links to blog posts, sales, great, so much. Companies looking to network and create brand loyalty, and it's really a landing page for your business. You 100% should have a Facebook page because people do find a lot of information about your store hours, where you're located, phone numbers, email, contact information on Facebook. So yes, it might not be generating that much traffic for you, but you should still have a Facebook page as a landing page.
You're expected to have it, and using all the features, it's like reviews, it's so much stuff. Oh, we have just 10 minutes. Perfect. So user demographics, again, this is the biggest used social media in the world, right? 2.5 billion people are on Facebook. So why aren't you gonna be on Facebook? 29% of the users between 25 and 34, and however younger audiences are not as active, but they have a presence on Facebook. And this is so funny because we have done, and we read a lot, and we were asking questions to some people, and they're like, oh no, I don't use Facebook anymore. I maybe just go on it 3 to 4 times a day. I'm like, you're using Facebook 3 to 4 times a day. Yeah, but on Instagram I go like 25 or 30. Well, I still want to if you go 3 to 4 times, So people are still there. They just are not as active as if they were on other social media platforms.
Pros. So no length requirement, free content guidelines. It really is a better buzz for events. So again, if you have events, you should 100% be on Facebook because, you see it on your news feeds. When people are sharing things, it'll pop up. Various options for advertising. So advertising is, I think, huge for Facebook. So that's a big part of why you should have a Facebook page. And it's great for traffic. So
Pinterest and Facebook are the #1 traffic drivers for all the websites in the world. So expensive advertising and maintenance, you have to pay to play. If you want to be found on Facebook, you have to have money to pay. Again, there's 3 million businesses like ours advertising on Facebook, so if you're not willing to pay, you're not going to be found. Millennials are shifting attention to other networks. Like I told you, they just check it 3 to 4 times versus 25, so up to you. I think
Instagram.
pretty quick. Yeah.
So we'll go quick. Instagram. Which business and content work best? Visual, right? Behind the scenes content. Inspiration and aspirational content is best. That's what people like to see on Instagram, right? Like, oh, I want that house, or what's that company like, to work for. So again, it's great for that. Companies looking for exposure and brand awareness. Again, earlier, like I said, Pinterest is great for traffic because every picture is linked, but Instagram is not the best for traffic, but it's great for brand awareness and exposure. Again, that's how Bloguettes grew. We just really pushed for brand awareness, and people were finding out about us through Instagram, and it's so easy to find accounts. It's so easy to find people. If I move to a new city and I need a new hairdresser, I'm going to be like, okay, what's her Instagram handle? Because I want to be, people use it as a portfolio now, right? So again, it's very important to use your Instagram account as that, your portfolio.
We are all consumers now too, so I don't know, I'm sure from you guys that are sitting now here, how many times have you seen oh, where did you get that? Oh, I saw it on Instagram. We want to buy what we see. We're obsessed with buying what people see, and Instagram is the perfect platform for that. So if you guys are using Instagram for your business, it's about that, about showcasing your product in use, making it trendy, and being smart about how you can put that product and making it trendy so other people want it.
But again, it's not just showing a product and taking a picture of it and posting it. You have to create the lifestyle and experience of, okay, these type of people use this product. This is what, the experience is like to use our product, whatever it is. This is what your experience is like to attend one of our workshops. Again, you have to put that out there so people imagine and get inspired to attend your workshop or conference.
So pros.
It's okay. It's visually pleasing. It's again easy and high engagement. So people are liking, people are commenting. I don't know if you guys know Rafter House. They are a home flipping company here in Phoenix, but they sell their home before they even put it on market thanks to Instagram. Because I might not be buying a house right now, but she is, and there's an open house, and the house isn't even really like on market, so I'm gonna tag her so fast. So again, that's great for Instagram. And free to start and easier than most to create organic followers and engagement. Cons. There is the algorithm influence. What you're seeing, it's kind of like Facebook. They're picking and choosing rather than time when you're posting it now. Advertising has a potential to overwhelm organic posts, but hopefully not. You are starting to see more sponsored posts now, and there's only one clickable link per profile. So those are some of the cons.
And this is something that we want to tell you guys. Like now we've talked about all the different social media channels that there are, but it's about adapting the content. If you really want to see results, first focus on having a strong social presence so that people actually like what you're having to say. If you're tweeting, people like what you're tweeting. If you're Instagramming, you've already noticed that people are liking your photos. But we wanted to show you like the same article, how it's being shared different on each one of the platforms. So this is Instagram, right? So look at the picture there. Like we know that picture is gonna do good on Instagram because it's what like
grammable.
We know that it's a term now.
It's grammable.
So we know this picture is gonna do great on Instagram. So we just go ahead and we've got a huge Instagram crush on lychee pan, and it's an interview that we did on our blog. So that's how it's gonna go on Instagram. Be a very attractive picture. Again, the black and white that people like, that girls love. Light picture, very on brand for us. That's the type of pictures that we post. And that's how it's gonna go on Instagram on the link in bio. And then this is the same article, but for Pinterest. So when we share this article on Pinterest, it's gonna go with a different picture. We rarely show pictures without a face. They're really good on Pinterest. Again, there's a call to action there because just a picture, people might just collect it because it's a nice picture.
And they'll be like, oh, that's just a picture of a girl wearing a floral headband.
Because a lot of people don't read, so they won't even read the comment. So we go ahead and add some text into the picture because we think that picture will do great on Pinterest. So it's the same article, but it's just being shared different on each one of the platforms. This is how it will go on Facebook. So again, a different picture. And again, what did we say about Facebook? That people are there to click on like maybe news, or like kind of like Twitter. So we make the caption very small compared to Instagram and concrete, and just want people to click into the article because Facebook and Pinterest are big traffic drivers. So it's the same article. Again, we edit the meta description on the back end just so Facebook pulls that up instead of just the beginning of the post. And then that's how this same post will go on Facebook.
One picture, the same sentence is not going to do well across all social media platforms. And I think that's the biggest mistake. And I think when a lot of people outsource social media pay someone to do it, I think that's where they're making a big mistake.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that if you are outsourcing someone to do your social media channel or your social media, that they're not just using Hootsuite and cross-promoting everything with one content.
The same way, because that's why you guys don't see results. You're probably thinking, oh my God, they're crazy. How much work to put one article in 4 different ways? But we do it because we see results. And that traffic then converts into business. It converts into a workshop, it converts into something else. But that effort of translating each article for each platform actually really works. Mm-hmm. And then another way that you're actually gonna grow on social media, just real quickly, social media ads. This is a whole topic, but take advantage as most as you can of the ads that are provided to you. In specific, like Facebook, I don't know how many of you guys what are you doing here? But there's a new feature on Facebook that you can create custom audiences. So you don't waste your money on Facebook, right? So you can create a custom audience from just the people that you have in your newsletter. You can create a custom audience from a database that you bought and create a lookalike audience in another city of customers that have never heard about your company, but of course they're highly likely to like you because it's a lookalike audience of people who already follow you. So I think Facebook provides the most amount of tools for you to be advertising, but even your advertising is not gonna give you the results that you want unless you have the strong brand that we talked about at the beginning, the compelling content that people are looking for, and you have a strategy in place. Oh, 1 minute. So promoted pins will really help you with traffic. Instagram ads are huge right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it now, but now Instagram is a shoppable platform. So they're testing it with different brands, but now you can actually shop the content in the pictures on Instagram. So that's in beta right now with big companies, but it's going to become available for a lot of us pretty soon. And then Snapchat geofilters, that's something that people are underestimating right now. If you create a custom geofilter on Snapchat, it can be very cheap. So I can go ahead and geofilter our office and create a geofilter for people to Snapchat there. Think about how many people can use that geofilter and then see my Snapchats and then find out about your business. So I would really look into Snapchat geofilters as well.
And to kind of end it, these are some tools that we recommend. Trello is how we plan out our Instagram account. Posts, we do it a week before, put in pictures, captions. It's great when you have a team. And then Buffer is great. Tailwind allows you to schedule your Pinterest. So again, like I do not have time to be pinning every 5 minutes for, I don't know, 3 times a day, which you should be because again, you have to be active. Tailwind allows you to binge pin and schedule all on your Sunday for like 2 hours for like the next month. So again, like that's what we use, Tailwind. Planoly is great. Again, like there's so much to it, but there's like the Instagram grid, right? The 9 photos that you see to make it look pretty. Planoly allows you to plan out your Instagram so it's visually pleasing and it's all cohesive. And then LinkedIn profile, it's something that we use. We keep it onto our link on Instagram, and you click on it, and everything that we've linked earlier per Instagram photo is linked when you click on our LinkedIn profile.
To make the most out of that one link.
Yeah.
And then something that's not there, but we actually started using to test on ads. If you guys use ads for your company, there's a company called Adspresso that it will actually run A/B testing like crazy of your ads until it lands with the perfect ad for you to use the majority of your budget in. So it's pretty amazing. It's called Adspresso, and it's really helpful. It works with Instagram and with Facebook, and you'll get to see, instead of you doing A/B testing and a lot of things, it's automated for you. It creates, I think, I don't even know how many variations of your own ad. I think like 50 variations of just one ad. So you can actually see what works with your audience or not, and you can make the most out of your budget.
Yes.
And just really quick, social media ROI. So it's relative to the objective of the campaign, right? This is our last slide, but this is something that I want to put a lot of emphasis in. Your ROI on social media doesn't need to be that immediately the person that follows you purchase your service. Your ROI can be awareness. It can be leads. It's depending on the objective that you set up from the beginning, right? Consider direct and indirect costs for social media. Know what's working and what's not. Always evaluate. You look at your analytics and do more of what's working. I think if you just go ahead and do like post, that's where we see the major failure in social media. It's where people just post to post because they had to post, but without any strategy, without any purpose for that post. So if you're posting something, before ask yourself, what am I looking for with this post? Am I looking for traffic? Am I looking for people to like this image? What do you want for that image, and would you do it? If you wouldn't, then don't post it. Tools, Kissmetrics and Google Analytics. And again, LinkedIn profile gives you great analytics as well.
And
some brands.
Some brands to definitely follow. Us on Instagram. Grace and Lace. On Pinterest, Maria Seal is a great brand that started her business all thanks to Pinterest. Target on Facebook, Airbnb on Snapchat. These are great. So again, follow them, see how they're using it. Because again, you need to have an understanding of how people are using social media to help grow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then final tips, it takes time, so you have to be patient. You have to be active. You have to. And don't try to be like everyone else. Always engage and think outside of the box. Posting to post is not going to cut it. So again, it's really important to keep these guys in mind.
Last comment I'm gonna make, guys, if you don't engage, your brand is never gonna grow. Unless you're Beyonce and have 20 million followers without having to follow anyone, like that's the only, unless you have a big name or you're a celebrity like that, you have to engage. You have to have someone engaging on those platforms for it to work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Go back.
I know it's time for you guys to go, but thank you so much for being part of our presentation.